for Dwayne to come back, and he will be here on Saturday, May the 5th at Dr. Courtney's conference out at the Holiday Inn at the airport. So we'll see him then too. So if anybody missed here, please invite them to come then. Thank you. Dwayne, we welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. One of the first questions that people ask me is, Dwayne, how did you get...
Dwayne, do you want to use the microphone? Or is that turned on?
Is it on? Can you hear me? No. No, you can't?
No. That's working. It's this. It's just.
Oh.
That's all right. That was all right.
Oh, that's all right?
Yeah. We have to turn.
Testing, testing.
Turn that. Oh, I'm sorry about this.
Go ahead.
If somebody's a sound engineer, we sure could use.
Diabetes, you're not a doctor. You're just an engineer. And I tell them there's 3 reasons. Number 1 is God. Number 2 is my mother. And number 3 is my daughter. Now, I don't know too many daughters who can admit I saved my father's life. But I must also admit that I believe that Cynthia enjoyed torturing me when I was in the hospital. In March of 2002, I awoke that morning. It was March the 16th. I was preparing a presentation for one of my managers at Xerox. But when I awoke, I found I couldn't move. You know the feeling you get when you fall asleep on your arm, you get that rubbery feeling? Well, I had this rubbery feeling over my entire body. And I thought, this isn't good. And I thought, okay, maybe I slept wrong, I'll just go back to sleep. But this voice said, no, I don't think you should go back to sleep. And I said, well, yeah, but I don't feel too good, and I really don't want to go to work at this time. I'll go in later in the morning. The voice said, no, if you go back to sleep, you will be dead. Now, there's another voice that said, oh, but if you call an ambulance and it turns out that it's just an upset stomach or a pinched nerve, won't that be embarrassing? But the other voice said, yeah, but if I'm right, he'll be dead. I decided to listen to the first voice and called 911. And since I live alone, they had to break down the door and take me to the hospital. The next thing I remember was coming out of the coma, and my daughter was there, and I'm thinking, okay, am I dead? Because she's in Pittsburgh, and it was a snowstorm. So I knew she couldn't have gotten there that quickly. And I don't know what she was saying, and I don't know what I said. Because if you've ever been in anyone here, you ever been in a coma? Yeah, yeah. It's not fun. Because when you come out of a coma, first of all, you don't realize you were in a coma. And I remember trying to speak. And I remember Cynthia saying something, and I don't know if she was crying or whatever, and the doctors were shaking their heads, and I'm trying to speak, but nothing was coming out of my mouth. But I could hear them speaking, but they couldn't hear me speaking. So I thought, I must be dead. And I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. This is death. I can hear them, and they can't hear me. Of course, I found out later that because my blood glucose level was so high, it causes the vocal cords to dehydrate, to become very dry. They don't vibrate. And therefore, even though I was moving my mouth, no sound was coming out. But they fed me fluids, and within a couple hours, my voice came